Welcome to another episode of Data Analytics Chat. I'm Ben Parker, data recruiter and podcast host, looking to share insights and words of wisdom for the listeners. Today, I'm excited to welcome Stefan Harris, an industry expert in cloud, data, and AI. Stefan has led transformative data initiatives at some of the biggest names in the industry, including Microsoft, VMware, Facebook, and Wells Fargo. From driving AI-driven business impact, his career is a masterclass in leadership and execution. In this episode, we'll explore his career journey, how he got started, pivotal moments that shaped his path, and the strategies he's used to drive transformation. So, Stefan, welcome to the podcast.
Ben, it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
I'm looking forward to this.
Likewise.
Good. Let's start off. Do you want to share your journey? What inspired you to get into the field to start off with?
What's interesting, so my undergrad degree is in aviation, airway science, air traffic management. And so when I graduated from Hampton University, I had aspirations of being an air traffic controller, quickly went down that path and realized not exactly for me. So what I call career launching next steps, I landed at Andersen Consulting. So Andersen is obviously no longer around. It is now Accenture, but I landed at Andersen, and that became the foundation setting for my entire 30 some years now in industry and building expertise from a data perspective. Those early foundational years at Andersen created this appetite of really wanting to explore consulting. And so through a few different logos, I spent nearly almost 18 to 20 years in management consulting. And that certainly became the launchpad, if you will, for where I am today, because I built core technical skills, everything from being a software developer to wrapping the business around that, from a data analytics, knowledge management, KPI framework and development, et cetera. And so I've done everything from data strategy to data architecture to software development. And if we fast forward that, as the market has shaped itself and evolved, sitting really side by side or as part of the three concentric circles, you have cloud and AI, right? With data being really the building block for enterprises taking advantage of both and have built expertise over time. So I guess I got lucky and fell into this space, and maybe there was a bit of purpose, but it really became intentional for me after my time at NASA. And we could talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, no, then you worked with great companies. And then I think what's fascinating, isn't it now? There's many different ways into the industry, isn't there now? Basically, you could go your route. You can obviously go straight into the analytics studying route. I think honestly now, this industry reminds me a bit. 10 years ago, everyone wanted to be a software developer. Now everyone wants to get into data science. And I think it's just different ways. You need to just be able to, obviously, when you start a career, you just got to get that jump into that opportunity, and then you go for it, and then your path will carve itself out.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you bring that up, right? Because had you asked someone if they wanted to be a data scientist 15, 20 years ago, they would look at you sideways, right? It was applied mathematics or statistics, right? A statistician or doing computational analysis. Interestingly enough, from my perspective, these are not new professions. They have been around for many years. But what we have now seen through the acceleration of this movement around data and AI being an enabler, right? We would always talk data as an enabler, technology as the enabler. Now it's very different. I've lived this journey. It is no longer just an enabler. It is the strategic differentiator for an enterprise in how they operate, how they scale, how they touch and serve their customers, how they expand and grow, manage their risks, how they build more efficient products to deliver to the market. And so end to end, in terms of the life cycle and journey of your customer, to how you enable if you're a partner driven business model, to how you instrument and enable your partner ecosystem, to running the day-to-day financials in times of uncertainty and in times of extreme clarity and accelerated growth. And so from that perspective, it's game changer. It's totally different. And I think there's a lot to be said about those of us who have stayed the course with respect to the challenges associated with being a data professional, which is very different from, as you called out, software development and having a software development lifecycle. SDLC and the approach to how you build applications, be it on-prem or in the cloud, is very different than the instrumentation use and consumption of data through the power of AI, ML, and how those insights or decision-making happen as you leverage it. And because those are different, sometimes they are misunderstood. And so now you've got the role of the chief data officer, which has gone through maybe 3 or 4 different evolutions of what it means to be a chief data officer and where does that role report into organizations. So now we have a role that's defined as the chief AI officer.
Obviously, now you've worked with gone to senior leadership, C level. Was a goal of yours when you were younger?
I'm not sure if I would say it was a goal. I knew that I had aspirations of being in management. I think over time, as I learned how to operate, how to put my skills to work for me, essentially defining and getting clarity around what it is that I'm really good at, what it is that others see in me that I potentially may not see in myself or really know and understand, right? In those formative years of my career. But over time, I quickly started to pay attention to senior leaders in every facet of how they think, how they operate, how they decision, how they communicate, how they navigate in challenging business environments and scenarios. I built this sort of appetite to follow and connect and get coached, if you will, and mentored by senior leaders. And I arrived eventually at a place where I had enough confidence, not only just in my ability as a leader and my portfolio of capabilities, it became very clear to me what I do really well, where my opportunity areas for growth and improvement are, and more importantly, what I'm not good at, and why I need to surround myself with super, super smart, intelligent people that are a part of my reachable peer group, but also that are a part of my reachable leadership aspiration network. And so I'm constantly doing that. And maybe it wasn't so clear in the beginning of my career. I just knew I wanted to be a somebody and not a nobody. Everybody is a somebody, essentially. But I wanted to make an impact and a difference, and one that matters most in the world. And that's becoming much more clear to me even today.
Learn from people who've been there, done it, bought a t-shirt. It gives you that guidance, doesn't it? But
It does, but I've also learned with people who, at the onset, we all were stepping into unknown territory and waters and had to navigate. And that learning journey is equally as important as those who have been there and done that. In many cases, right, in terms of, exploring and defining the path forward around scaling enterprise data analytics and AI capability, is a learning journey for leaders and understanding what's required to truly reap the benefits and rewards and the power of the technology in context to your business, not some loosely defined market definition, but a true set of capabilities and solutions that you can point at and clearly articulate and measure the business impact and talk about the lessons learned and the things that have worked and have not worked, and how, and watching how the leaders and teams around you adapt and adopt are, in my mind, equally as important, if not more important, in shaping your own leadership development and journey as well.
Yeah. No, I like that. It's the constant development, and I guess key is a review, isn't it? Like we said, for look at what I'm bad at or not the best at, because that needs paying attention to, doesn't it? Or you may need to, that part of the work, that's not your specialist area that you focus on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, I know that I am really good at building relationships and navigating uncertainty because I have an element of curiosity within my DNA. And so I'm always interested, not in just the people around me, but also learning new domains, right? And so picking up business understanding and business context, being able to look at a business problem and challenge through a very different lens. We talked a little bit about the difference and the evolution around software development, systems engineers. Now there's, the data lifecycle is not like SDLC and data engineering and the evolution of ML engineering. All of those have brought so much, I think, co-opetition, both from a skill building and learning perspective, that through those journeys, I've had to also be an educator to IT in some cases, to say, no, data development is not like software development. And not in every case can you just walk into a stakeholder community and ask them to document their requirements. They may have a vision and an articulation of what it is that they want as an outcome. And it is a series of being able to drive that understanding to create that product, that insight. And maybe that insight gets served up or delivered through an application. Maybe it lands and supports and invokes a business process, but the how you get there, that journey getting there is very different. And certainly that has been a point of both pain, but also promise in helping teams evolve and really take the best of what both worlds have to offer and create this overlap, right? Where maybe it's a blurred line in terms of scope and responsibility, but that's a good thing because now you're gaining dual capacity and your ability to be able to accelerate delivery with clarity and understanding of who does what and who has the ability and capability to also extend their core set of skills to be leveraged, right? So it's been a really interesting journey, to say the least.
Brilliant. What was your biggest challenge in your career to date? And I guess for the listeners, how to go overcome it? Because everyone's got their own challenges, but I guess it's good to see your mindset, how you've overcome this.
We're assuming that I've overcome it. No, I'm just kidding. It's still be a work in progress, which I think many of us are.
So do you think that's having clear communication and also strong listening skills?
Yes, I do think there's a reason we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? Because it's always better to do more listening and less talking.
Yeah.
When it's your turn to speak, then you can speak with facts, right? And clarity, and help build understanding, not only just for yourself, but for others. And usually that process of listening comes through asking really smart questions, right? And those questions should get smarter, training a model over time.
Yeah, no, agreed. And I think it's key, isn't it? If you can obviously be the technical expert, but then also understand the business problem, having the domain expertise, you're going to succeed because you've got that more knowledge and understanding of what they want to achieve.
That's right. And that context becomes king and is tantamount, I think, in any business setting, in any technical environment. It is the differentiator for sure.
I was just always saying it's like being the glue, because you need to put the business and the tech data teams together, don't you? And I think a lot of businesses do lack that understanding sometimes, a lot of the time.
Here's an interesting sort of parallelism, right? When we started realizing that we could accelerate the computational capacity by bringing the data closer to its source for where you need to run compute power, that was game changer in industry, right? First, it started with multi-parallel processing MPP technology, right? But then we realized, oh my gosh, no, you need to bring the data to the compute. And now we have continued to evolve that. That's the same or equal to the concept of bringing the business to the tech and data, right? Or bringing the tech and data to the business, and truly having those teams operate side by side, where while the tech teams are building business context, the business teams are also learning and growing how to leverage and use the technology for supporting and enabling and differentiating their business all up.
So how do you keep growing and staying relevant with the rapid changes in data and AI, especially in leadership, because it is moving so fast and you're not being as hands-on as, certainly say, like the engineers?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of ways. I've recently had opportunity to basically build my own learning journey. And so I will personally take time to go build and learn a new skill, right? There's so many digital sources right at your fingertips where you can not just take a virtual course, but you can also actively build a Azure cloud environment and build AI, ML, machine learning models, create dashboards. You can do a ton of different things. And so that's one of the things that I do is I take advantage of what is available to me. But I also learn by talking to other people and hearing their stories and seeking out those that are on a path or in a place that I have an appetite and a desire to grow into. And then there's another way that I learn. I learn from my teams, because they are in the thick of everything. And I sit through code reviews. I participate in the various operational team meetings. These are all opportunities for me to build context. But then I also do one-on-one sessions, because that's an opportunity for both the leaders and members of their teams to meet with me, share with me the portfolio of things that they're working on, inquire about challenges that they're facing. And in that exchange, I am learning, they are learning, and I am helping to remove barriers, right? So that they can continue to forge forward and or build bridges so that they can cross them a lot easier. And it's a constant sort of evolution of multiple things, right? Within reach and outside of your reach that I go after. And then I guess conferences and forums, participating in those environments also help you to build additional context and learn from those opportunities as well. So it's a Rubik's Cube, really, of things that you continue to learn.
Yeah, got to join them colours together. But I think like you say, if you ask, you can't be an expert in everything. If you ask good questions, you get good answers.
That's right.
Well, you should if you condition it.
Well,
But you want to keep learning, don't you? Because especially the way the market's going, you can't know it all at the minute. There's so much happening in business. Obviously got the business side in leadership, and then also you've got the tech side. You can't. It's just your brain will explode.
one thing that I've learned is when you don't have the answer, say you don't have the answer. Don't make one up, because that's the fastest path to losing trust and credibility. And so when you don't have the answer, just say, you know what, I don't have the answer to that, but just give me a day or two, or give me a couple weeks, and we'll come back with a solid perspective and point of view. And when you do that, you come back not only with just answering the question, but you bring a very solid point of view that goes above and beyond just answering the question. And so I think that's extremely key.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's actually come out in quite a few interviews that we've had with clients. When candidates, individuals just sort of don't know, freeze or don't know the answer, and then they give a 5-minute spiel of what they think the answer is, when really the manager says that I just don't know at this time, but obviously share a solution. Like, how would you go and find the answer? Like what you've done, come back with a solution in the next day. Obviously, yeah, it's not right here then when it was requested, but you've come back and you've done your due diligence and obviously provided what you think would be a good solution.
That's right. That's exactly right. Absolutely. Hands down.
Good. So have you ever faced a major setback?
Oh, there have been plenty of setbacks in my journey. I've had personal setbacks. I've had professional setbacks. Yeah, I think the setbacks come in all different forms, if you will. And so I think one of the biggest, maybe more recent setbacks for me really evolved around this era that the entire world experienced with COVID. I am a person who brings energy to the room, but thrives on the energy in the room. And sometimes I have to be the spark to generate the energy. And sometimes it evolves, right? But being face to face means a lot. And when I went through that, as we all did, that period of COVID, it had a material impact on me, right? I started second guessing my everything from my leadership to my decisioning, my ability to see things clearly for what they really are. And so that was a really trying time for me. And I think that compounded by the fact that I had so much going on in my personal life as well. I had lost my grandfather, I had lost my brother during that time, and lost friends. There was just a lot going on personally. And that connection that you normally have with people you're used to spending 8 to 10 to 15 hours a day with, all of a sudden evaporates. It was hollowing for me, right? And so managing my way back into a place where I'm able to connect with people because the world is now changed again has been a journey. And I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about others, both from a personal, but also from a professional and management and leadership perspective. And in many ways, I think those key learnings have helped me to come out much more confident and strong, but have taught me that no matter what the circumstances are that surround you, and no matter how challenging or difficult it is to remain focused and to make smart decisions, those things are never expected to be done in a vacuum. And it's incumbent to figure out how to navigate through to build those connections and create those moments and opportunities that are both outlets and also springboards for you to continue to thrive, survive and thrive. And that has been key in really continuing to evolve as a person and as a leader for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think obviously, like everyone, obviously, whenever you go through a personal situation, like it's sink or swim time basically. Because obviously, I've gone through some. This you realise everyone's got problems. Like you just got to adapt, haven't you? Really, you got to find a way to get through it, because it's down to you to force yourself to get back
That's
up
right.
to the top, isn't it? Really, you've got no one else to help you. Really, obviously, you've got support from family, friends, but you need to get. It's down to yourself, isn't it?
That's
Everyone
right.
else got their own problems. Obviously, they do care about you, but in days, it's down to you. It's your own problem, isn't it?
That's right. It's survival of the fittest. And so you better get fit to survive Right. Well, it's interesting because even in those tough, critical times, there I have found the energy, the why, and the passion to pursue and to move on and to move through it. And yeah, you may stagger a little bit as you're trying to navigate your way. I think that happens for everyone. No one is immune of that. Some are just better at maybe getting through those initial stages. But at the end of the day, I get the ball over the line, right? And I do it in a way that creates the least amount of, I'll call it, damage along the way.
Yeah. No, I just think it's yeah, you just got to get through it. Basically, it's just one of them things, isn't it? Like I said, everyone goes through their own problems. It's how you deal with it is going to make or break you, really. And just yeah, like life got unfortunately, life goes on no matter whatever you've gone through. You just yeah, you got to find a way, haven't you?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Cool, cool. So, what career advice would you give someone starting in the industry today? Then,
Here's what's really cool in terms of opportunity. Today, there are university programs that if you've got an interest in becoming a data scientist, pretty much every institution in any city has a learning journey and a learning path for you to do that. College is not the only pathway to professions. Some people have skill sets and capabilities that come to them naturally, and building your own set of skills can be done virtually anywhere, right? Not just in higher ed educational institutions. But I would tell you that it's more accessible today than it's ever been, whether you take the institutional higher education learning path to become a PhD or advancing your education, to you want to go out to, hop on the internet and or your favorite app, and pretty much you can find, how to learn. You can learn about AI and all the many different AI applications and capabilities just by doing general knowledge searches, right? And so I would say chase your curiosity, do it from a point of passion, be open to learning new things, discovering and applying them, and figure out not only what you want to do, but spend time learning how to integrate and operate with people that are like and not like you. That's really important because it's important to be able to have a diverse set of perspectives and an appreciation for how differently people think, how differently people work, and figure out how to adapt as part of your learning life professional journey. Because being adaptable is equally as attractive and important as technically proficient. So I think all of those things are important, and never be afraid to ask questions.
perfect. I like that. Some great advice there. And then to end on a high, so is there a particular achievement you're most proud of?
Wow, that's a really great question. I think one of my most proudest moments, which was also the pivotal moment in why I'm in this space of data and AI today, was having had the opportunity to work as a contractor at NASA and building out a team supporting the safety and mission assurance organization. And during that time, my team and our platform, the process-based mission assurance knowledge management system, became the center of focus in supporting the STS-107 Space Shuttle Columbia Accident Investigation Board. I was appointed a member, have an award on my wall. So I became a member of the NASA Columbia Task Force supporting the Columbia Accident Investigation Board, which was led by Admiral Gaiman and Admiral Turcotte. And that experience forced me to paid close attention to execution of both risk management processes, but the role that data and the ability to interpret the insights in a way that allows you to tell the story in context so that you can help others understand severity and or risk in a way that has a material impact on decisions that could potentially be life-saving or not. And so having gone through that journey made me realize the role and the importance of data storytelling in context for key decision making. And I am most proud of the fact that I have that as a foundation that I continue to leverage and build on every single day.
Yeah, mate. Great. You got an award as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it's always, I always ask about achievements because I think it's so easy to go through life and not look at your wins. It's easy to just kid focus. If you look back and look at your proud moments, I think it does give you that motivation, doesn't it?
Yeah. Listen, some people say, don't read your press clippings. Guess what? Sometimes you need to read your press clippings. Sometimes you need to create your own press clippings because nobody else is going to do that for you. And when you need those moments of encouragement and reinforcement, and to remind yourself that you are fully capable of being in the room and having a seat at the table and landing a point of view and driving success and creating value, it's within you, right? And so sometimes you got to read those press clippings or you got to create them and they will give you that energy. But that same level of reinforcement and energy will resonate and show up in the room, which will build trust and confidence for those around you. And that is equally important.
Yeah, I love that. Because like I said, I think it's just easy. People, especially when, like you said, when you go through them tough or dark days, you just need that. Sometimes you just need that. Look, come on, I've done this before. And then it just gives you that emphasis, that motivation just to carry on and succeed.
That's right. That's exactly right. It absolutely does.
Stefan, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. You provide some great insights, stories, and knowledge, which I guess listeners will find really useful.
I hope so. Ben, it's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure connecting with you. I certainly look forward to doing more of this, and best to you as we continue to drive in 2025.
Brilliant. And congratulations on your career today. You've got an impeccable resume.
Thanks.